Imagine having two sons with the fatal disease. One gets an experimental therapy and thrives. The other doesn't, has to sit by and just watch. It's tough to imagine. Certainly as a father, I'm having a hard time doing that. But for the family you're about to meet, it is their reality. 15-year-old Austin LeClaire has always wanted to be part of the school band. But day by day, his mom, Jen, says it is becoming harder and harder to play.
Austin's arm function is getting worse. I can see him struggling to lift his drumsticks.
Austin has a severe form of muscular dystrophy known as Duchenne. Muscular dystrophy, or MD, is the disease that Jerry Lewis has been raising money for the past 60 years.
Have you noticed anything over the last couple of years that's become more challenging?
It's been harder to get in my bed and position myself.
Now, having one son with Duchenne would be hard enough for any mom. Jen has two, Austin and his younger brother Max. Boys with Duchenne first lose the ability to walk around the age of 10. Most don't live past their 20s. But 12-year-old Max seems to defy these odds. He plays soccer, he rides a bike, and Jen believes it's all due to an experimental drug called eteplirsen. Max began weekly infusion treatments of the drug 2.5 years ago. He was part of a small clinical trial of 12 boys. Austin didn't qualify because he was already in a wheelchair.
How much of a difference has it had in their lives?
I mean, I think you're literally looking right now at the mother of two children with Duchenne, one who is going to be the first child to survive the disease and one who is going to have the last child to die from it.
Since the trial started, all 12 boys have seen their symptoms start to stabilize, and there don't seem to be many side effects. But the FDA still has not approved the drug. They say they want more evidence.
What would the FDA say? Look, we're just not sure yet. This is part of why we exist, is to be sure that it is safe. Yes, it's been a 2-year trial, but we got to follow these kids out for more time. We're not sure how effective it is because, again, it's too small.
We have said that we will accept the possible risk that this drug isn't as effective as we think it is 5 years down the line, or some kind of side effect develop. But in the meantime, while they are not sure and while they are collecting more data, our kids are dying.
Frustrated with the process, parents like Jen have become vocal advocates, pushing for this drug's approval. It's become a contest of the emotional stories of these children and parents versus the very drug approval process itself.
I want to know that the FDA understands what children go through in a clinical trial.
Finding therapies for rare or orphan diseases like Duchenne can be difficult because of the small number of patients and the extreme progression of the disease. By definition, rare diseases have fewer than 200,000 cases in the country. In the case of Duchenne, there are just 15,000.
Rare disease is such that if we don't get our children in clinical trials and we don't get these drugs out quickly, there's no hope for these kids.
If you were able to get this medication, what do you think it would do for you?
I think it would help me be able to do the things that I like, and for it to be easier for me to do them, like play the drum.
And joining me now from Washington is Jen McNary. You just met her in the piece, Austin and Max's mother. The fate of this experimental drug has been in limbo for quite some time, but just this week the FDA did lay out a roadmap for the company, Sarepta, to conduct more trials, to get the drug possibly to more children and potentially lead to its approval if the results pan out. Jen, you and I had a long conversation about this. The new trial is not going to launch for a few months. When it does, first things first, will Austin be able to get the drug, do you think?
You know, the FDA has allowed for a flexible trial design with no placebo, and it will include non-ambulant children. So in theory, Austin fits, but again, we don't get special treatment. He will be in line with all the other boys that could possibly benefit from this drug.
You know, I had a chance to talk to Austin, and he's a smart kid. We talked about a lot of different things. Have you told him this most recent news? Does he know that he may be a candidate?
Oh yeah, so the morning we got the news, it was 6:55, and actually we were kind of thinking we were going to get some news because just, the timing was right. And so, Christine, my boss, Christine McSherry, and I were at the house waiting for the announcement to come out, waiting for the press release, and Austin was woken up to the news that the FDA was moving forward and that he should be considered for a trial, and if all goes well, they could be dosing really, by September, I would say at the latest. I'm hopeful that it'll be sooner. I feel like the FDA has said to Sarepta that they can move forward as soon as possible. So as soon as they have drug, I really hope that they're beginning to recruit and dose these children.
I would have loved to see the expression on his face. I'm sure it was a big smile. I'm sure he appreciated that. Jen, thanks for spending so much time with us. I think it's a really important story to tell. Appreciate you being on the program.
Thank you so much.